All right, the first stock I'm looking at here is DHI, DR Horton, and again you can see the nice downward sloping channel here, and a channel is very, a downward sloping channel is a very bullish channel. You get just a nice considered a pullback here before a continuation move up. It's more of a continuation pattern. If we zoom all the way out here, you could see. The housing has bottomed in November off of a lower, much a higher move back in the early 2000s, and we pretty much came crashing down in last November. We've been working our way up here, and we got to a point of, especially in DHI here. I'm just going to give this one as an example right here. We came up to that $14 level, which was actually previous resistance back in September, then in April. Now back in July, August, and September has been using this area of resistance here. And then we're getting a slight little pullback. Now the stochastics here, you can see each time the stochastics is pulled back to an oversold level, we gotten a decent bounce. So even zooming out here, you can even see the beginnings of an inverted head and shoulders pattern here, which has a little slant to it, which is even more bullish to me. So you got this nice slanted inverted head and shoulders pattern here. You get the right shoulder here, the left shoulder here, and the head down here. What we want to do is zoom in a little bit further here, and we'll concentrate on this little pullback we're getting. We don't want to hold things years. We want to hold things for maximum a couple weeks. So we're pulling back into a nice little channel here, and each time it pulls down to that lower channel line, we have to really take notice of this. Let me get rid of all these lines here, and put that new channel line back in here. And you can see the channel line, very good channel, equal distance apart, nice parallel lines here. That's started because of the resistance, the upper resistance here and the lower resistance. Now we've just popped down to the lower resistance line. Stochastics, each time they pull back down into this level, we've gotten a bounce, and we're pulling back down towards this level again, and at the lower trend line. So it makes me take a look at some the other housing stocks, like Lenore here is another one. Again, you can see a very similar, this is LEN, you can see a very similar pattern here of a channel. Some of them are a little bit stronger. This one has a little bit further to go to get down to the lower channel line here, but they all are in a pullback here, and they all are in a bullish pullback. So how do we determine other stocks in the area? So what I like to do is actually go to a site called Finviz, and this is it's just finviz.com, and what I'll do is I'll put a ticker in here. We'll start with DHI, and it'll come out and it'll give me a nice little picture of a I'll just click on it. It'll give me a nice little picture of a chart here, and again, excuse the video quality here. And then it tracks its own trend lines here and stuff, but I could actually see a little bit further into this instead of having a robot do some lines here. I could actually see a better pullback here on a downward channel, which they haven't noticed yet. And what I'll do is I'll click down here, residential construction, and it'll give me a list of every stock in that sector. So now I'll go over here, and I'll see all these stocks that are in this sector. Now, if you just cross your mouse over that symbol, you'll see that a short-term chart come up here, about 3 to 4 month chart come up on the screen, and you can see each one of them apparently is a downward trend. See the BHS here, I'll write down that one because I can see right away that's a nice little channel. The Beezer, nice channel here, BZH. And I'm going to go right down the line, and you could actually, I like to go for market cap. I'll exchange the market, but these are just going alphabetical order right here, and these are all housing stocks or residential construction stocks here. Comstock Home Building Company, again, downward action here. DHI, we just talked about that, downward channel. Hovarian, HOV, more of a sideways action here. KBH, very good downward motion here. Lenore, downward channel. You can see the lower spikes and the higher rips here. MDC, another very nice one here. So you write these down. There's probably better, MHO, MTH, another great channel here, MTH. So you can see pretty much NVR, all of these are setting up in this nice downward channel, and they all look the same, RYL. So I'm writing all these down as I do research, just showing you my how I go about finding things, and then I'll bring up my other charting service here, and this is my IQ charts, and I like using the IQ charts, and I'll start charting some of these ones to RYL here, and I'll bring that up on the screen here, and again, you could just pretty much draw the trend lines in yourself. You should be able to notice this. And as you know, if you learned the proper charting techniques, you could actually just start to see these beautiful, beautiful channels. And the stochastics, which are my top indicator here, pulling back also. So with this being said, this downward channel has been tagged once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times here. The lower part of the channel almost ready to be tagged. I would have an extreme buy signal on the lower channel here, because we've had an extended downward channel. We pulled away from that 20-period moving average. Stochastics has given us a buy signal. All these signals are shaping up, and across the board, across the whole sector of the housing sector here. So RYL is going to be a focus stock of mine. MDC, we just found these. I'm just actually doing. All right, I could see a trend line. I could see a lower trend line here developing right here. Lower trend line, as long as you have 2 points, you can continue to move that line down, and if it tags it the 3rd time, it's confirmed it. 4th time, there's a good chance it's going to hold that line. The other line above it could be a little wedge pattern, which is still another bullish pattern here. So again, the MDC, nice bullish falling wedge pattern here. The BHI, what was that? Which one was the BZ? Let's see, BZH. These are homes here. Again, slow. Let me zoom in here a little. Again, more of a sideways action here on this one, but you could start to see. Once you start to know what you're looking for, you can start to see these little lines, parallel lines. You have the 200-period moving average. It's a cheaper stock. I would tend to stick to more of the quality names here, but again, stochastics pulling back. We're inside this little channel here. There's probably a better housing stock to get into. Brookfield Homes. Here's the BHS, and again, another classic example of a trend line coming down across the tops here, right across the bottom here, and again, you can see how this price stays within this channel, and as we're coming down to the lower end, the stochastics are pulling back into a bicycle. So across the board, these housing stocks are setting up, and this is a very bullish pattern. So I'm going to keep my eye on housing going in. Probably starting next week, beginning of December, 1st week of December, 2nd week in December, I'll probably start taking a position in some of the housing stocks. Now, there's no guarantee that this won't fall out of this pattern, but the chances are that trend lines hold up better than they give out. This bullish pattern off of a recent move up here, this is just a nice retracement and a stochastic. So housing will eventually come around. Is it the time now? I think there's a better chance in the next couple of weeks of seeing a move in housing to the upside than there has been in a long time. So we want to focus on that. And that's just my little take on the housing sector. So I'm DayTraderRockStar. I broadcast every day on DayTradingRadio.com. I'll bring you these plays live on the screen. You'll actually see the screen. You'll see what I'm trading at. You'll see my entries and exits, and you'll see me draw these trend lines as the stock trades, and it's probably one of the best services out there. And you know what? It's free. So come on by, listen, watch, and enjoy.